So Jen Psaki was probably the first of these MSNBC hosts. I remember when I was screaming that Biden needed to drop out of the race, I was watching cable news to see if anyone would say the same thing. And on CNN, they were more critical, but on MSNBC, it took quite a while. They were sucking up to Biden the entire time. Jen Psaki was really the first to say, maybe we should consider this. And at the end of the day, Biden would have gotten trounced. He trounced. I thought Harris would win easily, but it ended up just being the worst case scenario, which was harm mitigation. So we didn't lose New Jersey, New Mexico, like Senate seats that we shouldn't have had to worry about.
I mean, it looks like the polls are basically right, and it very clearly showed that a bounce towards Harris after she left. After he left. And even on the economy, I think I said this earlier, but Harris closed like a 16-point gap in terms of economic numbers that Biden had created that hole, right? So I'm just these Biden diehards that say, no, it would have been a great idea to keep the guy who couldn't communicate to stay in the race. He's the only guy that could have beat Trump. I have nothing but contempt for that stupid ass opinion. So anyway, credit to Jen Psaki for putting herself out there back in those days within a very narrow MSNBC permission structure. And now she has correct analysis about what the Democrats did wrong.
There is sexism, there's racism, all of that is true. But I also think there is a real question I hope people start looking at about who people are listening to. In my view, there was an over-listening to and an over-lifting up of people who left Trump, not people who left the Democratic Party. The people who left the Democratic Party are the people who are going to win in the future. The people who left Trump, the never Trumpers who have important voices and that is not the winning coalition. And I think that is a takeaway. There is sexism, there's racism.
That is, first of all, we know that, but to say that to Joe Scarborough's goddamn head is crazy.
Well, because you know what they're going to say? They're like, yes, the voters that left, so we've got to run a Latino man. Because that's what they're going to say. People. Right. Oh, yeah, right. Who was cracking, like maybe a Latino cop who cracks some, like they don't think about those things in systemic ways. The analysis that they'll get from that is like, how can we get these voters back by putting someone up who has the identity that makes sense for the voters that we bled? And that's not the right way to put it. But hopefully, maybe if that's what Jen Psaki is saying, there's more systemic critique at play here.
That's so, I mean, their entire last 4 years of programming.
Yeah. Gotta love this. I am cucked. Todd says, interesting to see that Matt wanted to play the clip and didn't want to just leave. Under Biden, no one wanted to work anymore, but now after a Trump win, it's time to get back to work.
Well, I know my tax is going to we're going to be able to take home more pay, so I guess I'm going to stay here longer.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't want to do this job anymore. Morpheus says, run Julian Castro. I can deal with that. Yes, definitely my third choice in that crowded primary. Bernie, then Warren, then Julian Castro. And then I would have put Kamala over Buttigieg or
the migrant thing
Gillibrand.
is so important to be able to affirmatively say, actually, we're not afraid of people migrating to this country, and it doesn't have to undercut workers. Like, it's necessary. And Walz kind of got there in the debate with J.D. Vance, where he's like, that's not why I don't know why I'm doing Jimmy Dore for Walz. That's not why the economy's not here because migrants are here, and they're bad because migrants are here.
Yeah.
But I even think Bernie could have been better on this through the past 8 years of messaging that, like, we should look at, if your job hires more workers, it's only a problem if it's going to suppress your wages. But we know that it's not coming from other workers because the capitalists are taking home more and more of the revenue and then blaming it on, I guess I got to hire all these lower workers. Like, Castro would be great, I guess what I'm saying.
Woke Willie says progressive electeds should hammer home the merits of their vision, but I hope they also begin to interrogate establishment Democrats' definition of moderate in mainstream spaces. I feel there's very little evidence showing it aligns with whatever the median voter sees as moderate, especially on economics. I think broader awareness of this would help disengaged voters feel more comfortable joining our coalition. I think that's a really good point.
I mean, they think Yoav Gallant is moderate.
Yeah. Militant apathy said, sad but true, Southern white people do not care about Gaza. Yeah.
A lot more than white people in the South.
Yep. Pre said, earlier caller reminded me that last time I felt this demoralized was after the Bernie dropout in 2020. It was Michael's videos on TMBS that got me through it. I'm on my phone, so it's hard to search the archives, but I'm going to rewatch that later this evening. That's a great idea. Killing in the Name of says, as a military veteran and soon to be retired lieutenant colonel, I need to renew my DSA membership and refresh my attendance. I've just been so tired with the constant electioneering. I hear you on that.
Yep.
Steve Austin says, thank you to all the thoughtful, positive callers that were allowed to participate today. Yes, thank you very much. And the final I am of this week. I'm gonna try to find another one here. Bobby Western. Do you know how grim it's gonna fucking be when they inaugurate Trump and Biden is sitting in the wheelchair with spittle on his lip and Kamala's strapped with a Glock, all bearing witness, no congratulating the fascists on beating them at a game that they never understood the rules for? I will always spell America with a triple K. Fuck the charlatans. We need to build muscle and power from the ground up. There's no other option. It's either that or we're going to be facing the firing squad. Okay, Bobby Western, you will not be the final I am. I need a more positive vision, but it is, I'll add an extra wrinkle. Kamala's not just gonna have to be there on inauguration day. She has to certify the election as in the Mike Pence role.
I'm still hoping out that some of that Cheney outreach is because they're planning to steal it.
I know. That's what I said on the election. I was like, God, couldn't they have fucking rigged it? God damn it.
Hey, Donald Trump has once again told us just how far he's willing to go to get his way. The other day, he suggested the use of military force on Election Day and after against the enemy from within, or known as left-wing Americans. Everyone knows it was his base that stormed the Capitol, but that's not stopping the right from reporting Trump's supporters aren't the ones to worry about. But the great thing about ground news is no matter what article you see first, you're going to get instant access to every other perspective reporting on it. So in there, you will find the truth. Now, we keep working with our longtime sponsors because A, they're independent, B, they're nonpartisan, and C, they're dedicated to exposing any hidden agenda that's influencing the news you consume. This way, you get media literate. You can follow their newsletters or check out their app and their website. Easily stay informed through diverse and credible sources. Plus, for me, my Vantage plan gets me access to features designed to expose opposing narratives that are exclusively circulating in their bubble and also expose me to ones that I may be stuck in a bubble of, my own blind spots. So we all know Trump and his base are only going to ramp up the lies. Go to ground.news/majority or scan my QR code for credible news you can trust and confidently share with others. My viewers get a massive discount on the same top-tier Vantage plan I use every day. With everything at stake, we can't afford not to pay attention. Subscribe today because the fight for democracy doesn't stop after November 5th. It's just getting started.